Good morning, everybody. Good to see you this morning. Woohoo! Way down. Down in my soul. Yeah. So glad to have you all here this morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. Yeah, I hear the music down in my soul. I hear the music down in my soul. I hear the music, down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. I got a new day down in my soul. Yeah, I got a new day down in my soul. I got a new day down in my soul, and the whole wide world is my home. You know, can you feel the power down in your soul? Can you feel the power down in your soul? the house. Linda on piano, Malachi on drums, and Oliver on bass. Let's stand up. Keep standing up. No. Stay up, stay up, stay up. Come on. Yeah. Woo. Hey. Namaste.
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 Oh, namaste.
Oh, namaste.
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 Oh, namaste.
Oh, namaste.
Oh, the light in me sees the light in you. The joy in me celebrates you. The light in me sees the light in you. The joy in me celebrates you. Namaste.
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 Oh, namaste. Oh, namaste. Hey, hey. Oh, yes. Good morning. Good morning. Once again, this is Sounds of Spirit. Linda on keys, Malachi on drums, and Oliver on bass. And we have a beautiful guest artist today for the very first time, Carole. I forgot your last name. Crocco. Carole Crocco is our guest artist today. And you're in for a divine treat. If you have your cell phones on, I don't know why. So click those babies off. All right, Rev.
Wow. Good morning and welcome to Universal Spirit Center. I'm Kevin Bucy. I have the joy to be the spiritual leader of our thriving community, and I welcome you. I want to take a moment and welcome any of you here for the first time. We're glad that you're with us this morning. I invite you to just take a deep breath and settle into the energy of this morning, and welcome up Johnny, who's going to tell us about youth ministry this morning. Johnny.
Hello. Good morning, family. Namaste. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I got my friend Parker here. Today, we're going to be talking about flying and freedom, and we're going to make some birds.
All right.
Yeah. So, we want more friends. We have more space for more friends to come, and we know they're on their way, and we're grateful for that. So we say, and so it is.
So it is. Thanks, guys. All right, thank you. And I want to share a couple things with you. It's exciting that on September 12th, we're going to be installing 3 new prayer practitioners here at our center. One of them lives in Missouri, Derek, right? But we're holding his license. He's going to open a center or a study group in Missouri. So we have 2 more folks that day. But I'm saying that announcement, not only are we celebrating these folks, Hunter and Borghild as well. But in addition, after the service, if any of you are interested in finding out the training to become a practitioner, we're going to have a meeting for any of you who are interested in this journey, in this process. So I just kind of want to give you a heads up. That's September 12th. Also, in September, we're celebrating 20 years of being spiritual community. 20 years. Yeah, so on September 24th, we're having a gala, a party, which all of you are invited to, and it's at the Olive Wood Gardens. So all you have to do is this. It's really simple. Get online, the events page on our website, and just let us know you're coming and let us know your preference for food. So, and you're all invited, so we hope you show up. And now Lee Armentrout for the rest of the announcements.
Thanks, Rev. Hi, everybody. Hello. Let's see. As part of our celebration for 20 years, we're going to create a video montage, and we need your help for that. Also, on that events page on our website is an opportunity to kind of learn how to create a 1-minute video and how to upload it. And we have some magical IT genius over here. I think it's Gino. She's going to create a beautiful montage of people welcoming us or congratulating us and experience the experience of yourself in our community too. So we want to invite you to do that. Now, Awakening Wednesday is coming. Awakening Wednesday this week is Toby Geis. And she does a beautiful job of a breath work. You could get your pranayama on Wednesday. Gina will be here. That's 6:30 online and in this very room. So you're invited to bring a yoga mat and anything that you would need for breath work. Yoga mat, blanket, eye covers, bottle of water, something to prop up your knees. So normally we have an action of the week for our racial equality project. This month we have an action of the month. So go to the Racial Equality Projects tab on our website and you'll see a button, and magically about 50 or 60 black-owned businesses will appear, and you get to choose one. Go to that spot and then come back to the website and click a button that says, I did it. Then we're going to collect them that way. I think that's all that we have for announcements. That's it. Are you happy?
So I'm going to invite you to stand and welcome the people who join us online. So stand, turn around, and there's a camera right under the clock there. So we have people from all over the world joining us. So welcome all of you who join us from website, from YouTube, from Facebook. So, and I'm going to invite you to stay standing and greet each other. All right.
So, for the second service, Linda's going to start playing behind me, so that's when I start my prayer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it's just reverse, right? Yeah. And you'll come back and call them to order. Hey, guy. Hey. Hi, Sarah. Hi, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Good to meet you. Yeah, first time?
Back to our chairs. We're almost all there. Yeah, I'm bossy like that. Good morning, family. Isn't it great that we can actually hug on each other if we want to? Right? It's pretty nice. So, my name is Christine Thompson, and I'm one of the prayer practitioners here at our center. And it's an honor this morning to be here to lead our moments of meditation and of awakening within ourselves. So let's just start with closing our eyes if that feels good. And feeling our bodies against our chairs. And allowing the ground and our seat backs to support us. And those smiles on our faces to just get even more yummy. And so our reading this morning is from Joel Goldsmith. And he says, There is a self which is inseparable from the love and the life of God. And when we discover that self, we find the God with which we are one. The one life, one love, one substance, one being. One life, one love, one being, infinite supply, infinite resource, the indwelling right where each of us is. Holy smokes. Like right here. This is where God is. Right inside my heart and all of my wonderfulness. And knowing this for myself, I absolutely know this for each and every person here and all over time and place and space. That the indwelling presence of God is indeed infinite supply and right where each of us awakens. And so I know that as we come together this morning, we do so because of that infinite indwelling presence that we call God. And in that infinite presence, I know that we are called for a revolution, a reckoning, and awakening. That what we do here matters, how we be here matters. And so I know for all of us this morning in this coming together as Universal Spirit Center, we are the one big, holy, powerful life that is God, that is the divine. There is only one of us. There is that one that speaks to us through Reverend Kevin, who sings to us through Carole and Gino and the band and all of the hands and the hearts that bring all of this together. That one big universal spirit that is love. So let's join together in this knowing as we surrender this time and place and space in the powerful presence of love. And so it is.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Carol and her husband Carlos join us. They're neighbors of Chris and Barb. So Chris and Barb referred them. So I know they're traveling and you're probably watching. Thanks for the referral. Good choice. We're glad you're here, Carol. Carlos. All right. All right. Good morning again. So I'm going to read this. You did such a good prayer and such a good job at reading this morning. From Joel Goldsmith. There is a self which is there is a self which is inseparable from the love. Yeah, now you remember that, so that's good. There is a self which is inseparable from the love and the life of God. And when we discover that self, we find God, the one that we're one with, which is the one life, the one love, the one substance, the one being. So I was in high school and I went on a retreat, and the priest gave the retreat, and he recommended doing journaling. So pretty early in my life, probably from high school, I kind of kept a journal, right? How many of you keep journals? Few of you. It's good spiritual practice. I kept a journal. And so recently, my partner Tim and I have been cleaning up the house, going through closets and cupboards and drawers in the garage to make room for some house guests. And we've been cleaning stuff out. So I went through my closet, which is kind of deep in there, and saw a very old box, which I pulled out, opened it up, very dusty. It's probably been in there for as long as we've been in the house. And it's a box of old journals. So I'm like, wow, this might be interesting reading. Wrong. Can you imagine? If I started reading it I thought it would be interesting to start reading it about when I started coming into Science of Mind. It was about 30 years ago. Started reading it, and I'm like, what did I see in that person, right? I'm reading it and thinking, did I actually think that at one point? And I'm reading and I write, did I actually write that down? Right? So I'm telling my partner now, if something ever happens to me, have a bonfire, burn them. Don't read them. Because it's a sobering thing, right? Especially if you get some years back. It's a sobering thing. One thing I noticed in the last 30 years, it's really kind of cool. One thing I noticed, and it's gradual, it's subtle, but it was steady through the journals. A powerful thing, and it was this. In my journal writing, it was clear to me that I looked outside of myself for love, for happiness, for peace. Because that's what we do, right? If this person loves us, if this person, if I get this successful job, if I live in this right place, then I'll be happy. If we could control our environments and other people enough, right? We could be happy. Who agrees with that? Yeah, that's true, because that's what we're taught. Find out what the problem is. Find out why that person doesn't love us or whatever. Find out why we didn't get the job. Do better and get the person or get the job or whatever. That's how we grow up. That's how we're taught, is our happiness and our contentment comes from out there, right? Well, spirituality tells us something different. Spirituality says that within us is a presence that allows us to generate what it is that we want to experience. So we actually generate, we know this in Science of Mind, generate an inner experience of peace, of love, of happiness. We generate that energy. And then we bring it to the circumstances and the facts of our lives. And one of two things happen. The facts and the circumstances change, they shift, because we're creative, right? Or they don't matter to us anymore. We've let go of it. It's not a big deal. So that's a powerful experience that I had in reading through these journals, right? So case in point, and this happened this last week. There's a neighbor who does something that inconveniences and annoys me. Anyone have a neighbor like that? I know Barb and Chris don't, but anyone have a neighbor like that? Or a person like that in your life? Yeah, you do. A couple of you do. So they do something that annoys me and that bugs me, inconveniences me, right? And I label what they do as selfish. That's my label for it, right? So, sure enough, this last week, they did that thing. And I found myself, going right in the story. They're doing this on purpose. They're inconveniencing me. They're selfish. So that's one choice to go down that route, right? That's one choice. We do the blame game. We do the story. We feel the energy. We feel the justification in our anger, right? And then we go and we get someone to change their behavior. Stop doing that or whatever it is, right? That's one way to go. That creates anxiety. See if it's not true for yourself. It creates anxiety. There's another way to deal with it, right? And this is what spirituality tells us. There's another way. And that is work on that internal dynamic that's going on. Pay attention to that. So what I did is after this event happened, it took me about 10 or 15 minutes, but I went and I sat where I meditate. And I thought, I am sitting here until I am no longer blaming this person, right? I'm no longer blaming him. So I sit there, and I'm feeling the energy, and I'm feeling the anger, and I'm not going over the story. I'm just feeling what this is in me. Because this neighbor didn't, put in the button. This neighbor just pushed it. Didn't install the button. Thank you. Yeah, help me out here. Apparently this morning, just help me out, Wendy. So they didn't install the button, but they pushed it. So it's my responsibility, if I want to experience peace and not live in the story, to be with that energetic pattern, right? To be with the energetic pattern. So I'm with it. And here's what happened. This energetic pattern no longer needed that story. No longer needed the neighbor to blame. No longer needed to be self-righteous and the inconvenience. Truly, this is just true. It didn't matter. Now, I'm not saying I'm always that self-aware, but I do that. It is a practice that I do, right? It's not that I don't still react or have story going, but that's my practice. It's to sit and tend to the inner dynamic so that I could leave when I stand up. I'm peaceful, and I've let go of story rather than being in the anxiety of it. Does that make sense? I think most of us, the religions that we grew up with in the Western Hemisphere, support this dynamic of going outside of ourselves to look for the problem. Because we're told there's some truth to be had that we have to embrace and we have to conform ourselves to. That there's some salvation out there that we have to believe in and accept and contort anything inside that needs to be contorted. That's one way that religion happens. But there is a way spirituality happens. And spirituality happens by us calling ourselves to encounter the divine self, to move through those layers of energy and come into the awareness of that one self that is inseparable from the life and the love of God. So the other day I was foolish enough to turn on CNN. Oh my gosh, between Afghanistan and Haiti and the political situation and COVID, within 5 minutes, I was so anxious. I was just feeling it in my body, and I was like, whoa. And then I'm realizing, whoa, what I'm doing really is I'm picking up on the anxiety right now within the human race, within all of humanity. This is like a universal experience of anxiety that we're having, that's showing up within the interaction of countries, within our bodies in terms of COVID, within our political system. This anxiety, and Joel Goldsmith, somewhere else in his writings, says, there is a general level of anxiety that kind of pervades humanity. And you and I personalize it to the degree that we buy into it. That we personalize this anxiety, that we make it ours, right? That we make it ours by our story, or by our perception of things, or by watching the news. You know, we kind of own it. Joel Goldsmith also, which I read this morning, says, you know, we're born in different lifetimes. That's his belief. We're born in different lifetimes. He goes, what's important to ask ourselves is, why are you born now, in this culture, in this period of time? How come you're born now with all this stuff going on? So I read this morning, and I thought, I'm clear. It's to be a vessel for peace and light and truth that comes from within, so that I do my best to practice at that, so that I could be an energy for good, for peace, for connection in the greater world. Maybe that's why you're called here now. Maybe that's why you find yourself this morning in a spiritual center. So a few months ago, I talked about this story. It's a great story. It's the Prodigal Son. You know, so the Prodigal Son, the rich man has two sons, and one of the sons comes to him and says, give me my share of the inheritance. Father gives it to him, and he runs off, and he blows all his money on wild women and food, and I think there were some pigs in there. So then he realizes, my life's really messed up. It was much better at my father's home. So he goes back to his father's home. His father embraces him. Come on, you're welcome. The older brother's watching this, right? The older brother's watching and not liking it. And says, how come you've never partied for me? And the father says, all I have is yours. But it's appropriate we celebrate your brother's return. Okay, that's a storyline. I think this is a great story when we really consider that those three characters, the father and the two sons, are really just aspects of ourselves. They're just aspects of ourselves. And that's really a healthy, authentic way to interpret Scripture. When we read a Scripture, they're parts of ourselves that are playing out, like a dream would be, right? So the father, the generous, rich father, is infinite source within us. It's infinite source. It's that within us that meets all our needs, right? But it doesn't hold us captive. We could go off. So then that part of us, the son that seeks connection or happiness, the son goes away, looks outside of himself, looks to the wild women and food and whatever. Nothing against wild women, but looks for it there. I know, I didn't mean necessarily to look at you, Gino Walker. I didn't necessarily, but yeah, I don't know. But this is the part of us that looks outside ourselves for fulfillment. Looks over there, right? It's that if that person loves me, if I get that job, if I could live in that neighborhood, if I could get that body weight, right? Then, if I get this buff as I am, then I'll be happy. That's the one. And then there's the son. And then he realizes, wait a minute, has an awakening out there. He has an awakening in my connection with home, with the Father. I'm content. I'm peaceful. I'm connected. And then the other son, Gino talked about this last week, the other son, which feels betrayed. that feels victim, aspects of ourselves, right? And so I love this part of the story. The son that plays the victim, that's part of us that plays the victim. The father turns to that son and says, all I have is yours. What kind of love is that? All I have is yours, right? So I think this is a story about an interconnectedness with ourselves, with the divine within. I experience anxiety when I feel separate. I feel separate from my partner or my family or myself or God. There is a level of anxiety that happens. Or another word maybe to say that is a disturbed peace. When I connect with myself, when I can touch into that infinite source, I experience peace. Isn't humanity in need of peace these days? Each moment we get a reaction. We get the temptation to go into blame or judgment or story or feeling separate. Each of those times, you and I have an opportunity to come present to ourselves with the awareness, as Christine prayed, with the awareness that within you, where you sit, is infinite presence, sitting right where you are. That's what authentic spirituality teaches us. So I want to read one more. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, actually. I'm going to read one more quote here from Joel Goldsmith. Take a deep breath right into your heart. Don't breathe on your neighbor when you do that. Just yourself. So Joel Goldsmith says, Then we rest in the awareness that the infinite presence within is the very source of our lives. That which created us in the beginning. Infinite source created us. Not our parents. Infinite source. I'm going to read that one more time. Then we rest in the awareness that infinite source within is the very source of our lives. That which created us in the beginning. Infinite source created us, not our human parents. Infinite source.
A healing rain cleansed my mind. Truth danced upon my tongue. The hands of God held my heart. I felt love in each beating heart. I've been alone, I've been afraid, but in the sunset I have seen my name. Oh, beyond the battlefield of my mind lies a paradise. And though the darkness stalks me by night, within me is infinite light. And I am overcome with prayer, even when life is not fair. Oh, I am overcome with prayer, even when life is not fair. Oh, I am overcome with prayer, even when life is not fair.
It's on. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thanks, Barb and Chris. I'm Lorraine. I am your Wisdom and Counsel leader. And thank you. Part of my job as Wisdom Council leader is also to sit on the Stewardship Corps. And as you may know, we've had members of Stewardship Corps up here all month to tell you about our financial situation. And I won't go on and on about it. We're in great shape. But our baskets, virtual and real, were a little low from after COVID, and not everyone was coming back. So we asked everybody to dig a little deeper and do extra if they could, and I am here to say that you heard us. And it fills me with joy, because you really heard us. And I'm so proud of all of us, because we care so deeply about this center and about what we're doing in the world. I don't know, you all probably know about the Global Heart Tithe that we do every month, which is based on a percentage of what you give us. And this month, we gave $1,000 to Haiti to try and help the people there. And we give to wonderful organizations around the world, and we take care of each other, and we pay this marvelous man to give us his wisdom. So I thank you. I thank you so much from leadership, from the membership, just from myself. Thank you so much for taking care of us and giving back. And I'm just so proud of us. I'm so proud of us as a family and as a community. So I'd like you to put your hand on your heart. If you have a gift to give today, put your gift on your heart. And close your eyes and repeat after me. As I give out, so I receive. As I receive, so I give out. I live in constant abundance. And so it is. And thank you again for your generosity and your love.
for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, beautiful day. This beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful life. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful life. Thank you for my Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. My beautiful, my beautiful, my beautiful day. My beautiful, my beautiful, my beautiful day. Oh, thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just want to say thank you, 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 thank you. Sounds.
Gino's in the house. So I invite you to stand. I invite you to place your hands over your heart and take a deep breath. And I, too, want to thank you for your generosity to this community. Thank you for your loving care of this community. So take a deep breath into your heart and just take a moment to feel this infinite presence within you. Just connect with it. Just breathe into it. Be aware of it. Feel it. Open to it. Experience it. Let it rise up in your life as the power of love. And as you leave here, let love move through you into all those you encounter. So know this powerful blessing with me. And let's just take a moment and hold all of humanity in a loving embrace. The people in Afghanistan and Haiti and all those places in the country that are struggling with COVID, all those places where there's conflict and anxiety, let's send forth to them a blessing of peace. And let's know all this together as together we say. And so it is. Amen.
Namaste.
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 Oh, namaste.
Oh, namaste.
Woo! Namaste.
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 Oh, namaste.
Oh, namaste.
Oh, the light in me.
The light in me.
She's the light in you.
Sees the light in you.
The joy in me.
Joy in me.
Celebrate you. Namaste. Ah, namaste. Ah, namaste. Yeah, yeah. Oh, namaste.
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 Ah, namaste.
Namaste.
All because the light in me, I see the light in you, and the joy in me, it celebrates each and every one of you, and you are the light in me. It sees the joy in you, the joy in